Our assassin is hiding under the bed of the noble he has been sent to kill. Listening to him sleeping, unable to do his job, as it has to be a secret assassination. The next morning, when the young lord leaves his room, our assassin has to figure out how to leave the estate in broad daylight. He decides to stay under the bed all day and escape at night. The day is tedious, but passes, eventually, without our assassin being discovered, and he flees into the night. He spends some time gathering information about the noble guests coming to the party, and orders some servant livery from Ripley. He also comes up with another plan for the assassination. While he waits for his delivery from Ripley, he learns that the party is growing in scale and more guests will be coming, meaning some of them will be staying at the inn. As the innkeepers start getting a bit suspicious about his cover story, he decides to change his identity to that of a servant after picking up his delivery from Ripley. He infiltrates the estate, hoping the numerous new servants and attendants will mask his presence. He conceals himself until evening, then sends Frederick a note to lure him into the bathing room, where a glass of poisoned wine awaits him. Unfortunately, the lordling resists the poison's effects, leaving our assassin no choice but to try and forcefully drown him. Will our assassin successfully drown Frederick? Will he escape the estate undetected? Will the innkeepers raise suspicion about his real identity? Let's find out now on Assassin.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Assassin. Rob, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I think I'm having post-traumatic school disorder or something. Like I'm done. I turned in my last paper Sunday.
God.
And I've had like 3, I guess I won't call them nightmares so much as night assignments where I would have like some kind of like major like, oh God, kind of assignment. Twice last night where I was just like, I have to wake up and go like, wait, no, I'm done. I don't have to do that.
Well, that's unfortunate and fortunate that you have that realization when you wake up.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, just sort of weird. Not real, not used to having stress dreams. Just sort of weird that they're happening now. When that part is gone.
Oh. Well, congratulations! You finally made it to summer break.
Thank you.
It ends.
Not summer break. Done. Graduated.
Yes.
Well, assuming I passed everything, graduated.
Right. Right. Well, welcome to your short summer break, because summer's almost over, and I guess you're not going back to school, so it's not really a break, but welcome to your brief summer, your last 2 or 3 weeks of summer. When does summer end? When does summer end?
I don't know, dude. I mean, now I've got to go out in the real world, and I got to learn to adult, and
now you just gotta.
Mom and Dad aren't taking care of me anymore, you know, and I don't know. I mean, how am I supposed to start adulting?
I think you just have to grab your surfboard and kind of go back and forth across the equator as you travel the world, searching for the perfect wave. I think you can turn this into an endless summer if you really try.
I see. So you're saying I should be using Point Break as my guide to effective adulting.
I was suggesting you use Endless Summer as your guide to adulting. Have you not seen Endless Summer?
Like Bodhi. You're saying I should be like Bodhi.
No, don't be like Bodhi. Bodhi's the bad guy.
While robbing banks.
That's not what I was suggesting. You can't just take Point Break and Endless Summer and merge them together into one concept. Just because they both have surfing in them doesn't make them the same thing, Rob.
Yeah, but I mean, one is, just a surf movie. The other one has Neo and Roadhouse guy.
Yeah.
And Tank Girl.
Yes, I didn't put that together until just now, but yeah. Point Break is a top movie. 9 out of 10. At least the original. I haven't seen the remake. I cannot comment on it.
Oh God, there's a remake?
I got through about the first 5 minutes, and then I was like, okay, seen enough. Yeah. We don't talk about that. But what we do talk about is Assassin. You are drowning a young Lord Frederick Drooper in the bath.
Yes. So hopefully a death that will leave no marks and no sign. Got to make a lot of rolls to make this happen.
All right, so let's lay out exactly what's going on and what needs to happen. You've got Frederick, you're holding him down in the water. He can hold his breath for a number of minutes equal to his con modifier +1, with a minimum of 30 seconds. Poor Frederick only has 8 con, so his con modifier is -1. So he can hold his breath for a minimum of 30 seconds before he starts to drown. However, he is actively struggling, so we will cut that 30 seconds in half to 15 seconds, which is 3 rounds. So, yes, we're going to do opposed athletics checks for you to hold him under the water. He is drowsy from the effects of the poisoned wine that you gave him, and also at a disadvantageous position, being like underwater and being held down. You don't have very good leverage from there. So Frederick is going to get disadvantage on his athletics checks against you. And you'll need to hold him down for 3 minutes, at which point he begins to suffocate. And I think because of his 8 con, he can hold his breath for 1 more round after that, at which point he is dead. Or at 0 and losing hit dice, failing death saving throws.
I feel like we need some maximum tension music for this here.
Is this not maximum tension?
Oh, I don't know. I can't hear the music.
Oh. Well, there's music playing through Roll20.
I'll assume that it's super tense. Oh, you know what? Maybe because
Maybe you turned it down.
Playing through Roll20 or through
Roll20. Should be able to turn the volume up over on the gear tab, the gear icon. There should be a slider bar.
Yeah, master music level. Maybe because I've disabled the sound.
I don't know.
Huh, okay.
I don't know. Alright. I know these rules by heart, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So, you've already won 1 out of a total of 4 opposed athletics checks. Frederick is underwater, trying to reach out, sort of flailing around a little bit, making just a little bit of splashy noises, not really all that much. And we're gonna get to...
It's a big building and people are asleep.
It's a very big stone building.
I'm not even sure if there's rooms over this way.
Who knows? Who knows?
Well, you do. I mean, I would assume.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Up on your game.
Yeah, I know. I know where everything is. That's fine. So we're going to go to our second round of opposed athletics checks. Poor Frederick at disadvantage. He rolls a 7.
All right.
You hold him under again. The splashing gets a little bit worse as he slides further down into the pool. Now his feet can kind of like kick around on the edge. And that's when, at the door, just to your right, comes a... Lord Frederick? Frederick?
Male, female?
It is a male voice.
Is it Cotton Hill?
It is not Cotton Hill. No. Let's see. I think you overheard Walter, the butler, talk before.
Oh, God.
This is the middle-aged butler. named Walter. Do you have anything you would like to say in response before we go to the third round of opposed checks?
I say, using what's been deemed the most worthless feat in 5th edition, in Frederick's voice, I say, Walter, you will leave me alone and not disturb me again this evening. And I make a little chuckle.
Excellent. Are there any? Do you need to make any checks to use his voice, or is that just done? Let's see, you can mimic the speech of another person. You must have heard the person speaking or heard the creature make a sound for at least 1 minute. A successful insight check tested by your charisma check. Okay, well, there is a door in between the two of you, so why don't you make me a deception check at advantage? Because there's that door that will help muffle everything and make it easier to fool the person on the other side.
All right.
Oh, thank God for that advantage. Walter, on the other side, says, of course, my lord, but Kel... what name? I've lost it already.
Cottontail.
No. Kel Olin Furin is here for you, my lord. He says it's relatively urgent, and I think this is where we need to make our third opposed check with Frederick in the water. So him at disadvantage is a 14. Oh.
Woo.
All right, 3 rounds in, he's beginning to really, really panic here. At the same time as he's panicking, his movements are losing some of their strength because he's drowning. Definitely drowning.
In Frederick's voice, I say, I am occupied, Walter. I shall see him in the morning.
Of course, my lord. He'll be waiting in the tea room for you whenever you wake up. And then he begins to leave, and we do our last opposed check here. Last chance for Frederick to escape. Oh, God. Oh, 2.
So I just have to avoid double ones?
You have to avoid double ones.
Not by much.
Frederick's flailing stops.
All right, I'm gonna keep holding him down for a while.
All right, you can hold him down for another 3 rounds, and be guaranteed that he is drowned. And once poor Frederick is drowned, what do you want to do with him?
First, he's still wearing his clothes, isn't he, or is he?
He is in clothes, yes.
Okay, so he was waiting just to be sure, because I don't want to do something stupid. So he was waiting in the bathroom in his clothes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He hadn't changed out yet.
All right, so he wasn't enough of a douche that he was sitting there.
No, he's not like naked in the
waiting.
sauna waiting for her. No.
All right, I am going to have to undress him.
Easily done.
The problem is that his clothes are wet. I'm going to fold them and place them right next to the edge of the sauna, so that maybe people can assume that they must have gotten
Splashed. Yeah. Okay. But 0 hit points. Okay, so you've neatly stacked.
I am going to eat some of the cheese.
Lovely.
So that we don't go, it wasn't even touched.
The wine has already been consumed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'm going to take a few swigs of wine so that I only poison the cup. The wine itself is not poisoned.
Correct.
So that in case anyone gets all Sherlock Holmes, like, but only one glass has been poured or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I believe he has a letter on him?
I'll even spill a little bit on his clothes.
Oh, nice.
I have a feeling that would probably be believable.
Mm-hmm.
And he was probably, I'm guessing, already drunk way before this.
Possibly. I mean, it is the estate party, right? Okay.
All right. Now, is there... I'm wearing this tunic that's has I can't remember the name of the woman.
Red Shield
as her. I'm wondering if I should plant some little scrap for them to find.
Well, he already has that letter from her.
True. That seems enough. We don't need an orgy of evidence here. I'm going to listen outside the door to make sure I don't hear anyone approaching.
Yeah, give me a perception check through the door.
Literally a 1 and a 20.
Well...
Of course, it's the 1 that counts.
Yeah. You hear nothing. Nice and quiet.
All right. I'm going to slowly slip open the door and take a peek around. And so this was... That was literally the name of the guy who ran the silver mine and enslaved.
Yeah, that's a name that you know well. Olin Furin is a certain dwarf lord who's not really maybe a lord. He's a captain of the guard for the Drooper family. And you have a slight past with him. Just a little bit.
Yes. So it occurs to me that now this will be a really bad insignia to have on. So before I'm going to duck back in, and I had the different tabards wrapped around my waist.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take out, what were the other two that I had?
Were... Where did I put my notes? I can't find my notes. I don't remember the family names yet, and my notes are missing.
One was Darwin something.
Finkelstein was one of them, and no, I think I tossed those out when I cleaned my room yesterday. I was like, oh, we're done with this episode. We don't need these notes anymore. And I think it's gone. I think they're forever gone. Finkelstein, right. And we're gonna call it a Greyhound.
All right, I'm gonna quickly change into the tabard for Finkelstein.
Okay. Done.
All right. Now, and the other tabard is wrapped around my waist now, along with the one I haven't used yet, the Greyhound one, and
who is this guy to you?
All right,
as Olin Furin.
So for the audience that didn't hear my Sophie monologue last time, I've mentioned the mines a couple of times. I'm not sure if people thought that was just a story I was making up, but that is the truth. He was Actually, as he looks around, you know what? I need this safe place to do some thinking and considering here. Instead of standing out in the hallway reminiscing. Are these windows?
Yes, those are windows.
I look out the window. Anything to be seen out there?
Just the open courtyard below. Give me a perception check. You notice that there is the back of a guard, kind of walking up the staircase into the first floor of the estate. A floor below you.
What about over here at this window? This might be less likely to have anybody out in the front of the place.
Yeah, if you look out that window, you just see the grassy lawn that extends all the way to the gate.
Okay, I'm assuming that that's clear because you didn't have me make a perception check. So,
cheeky fellow.
I'm gonna go out that window and up onto the roof.
All right, you are on the second floor now. So give me give me an athletics or acrobatics check to climb this, because it is a difficult. Never mind, it's not that difficult for you. It's actually quite simple. You begin to climb up, and soon find that directly above you is actually a balcony that you have arrived at. There's a door there, and then, the wall continues up, and if you'd like, you can climb to the whatever's above it, but...
I want to climb. My goal is to climb up onto the roof and then get to a place where peak of the roof, or if there's a flat roof up there, someplace where I can have a moment in safety where I can't possibly be seen.
All right. So you can just keep on climbing until you make it to the rooftop above the balcony. You have to climb back out and up and onto this nice sheltered area.
All right, I'm going to get on the other side of the peak, so there's no chance that people in the courtyard will see me.
Mm-hmm. From here, there are windows that look into a parlor.
There's another floor going
There's
up.
another floor, yes. It goes up even higher. You can look into here and see that the parlor is not lit. These windows are all darkened.
Okay, climb up between the windows just in case.
All right. You are all the way on the rooftops. The very peak of the roof, there's a fireplace chimney right next to you. Bar.
Okay, I'm not seeing the tip.
I'm not gonna, there's no just rooftop aisle for you.
All right.
Yeah.
I am going to get in such a place where I imagine I can kind of be well covered with a chimney and where no one is going to see me from either side.
Mm-hmm. Can do.
All right. And there I'm going to take a moment because I think that I need to possibly plan here. So I'll pull out the remaining copper pieces, and I'm looking at them, going through the names associated with each copper piece. Seems I could put these all to rest, right? And so I'm going through my memories. For the audience, I've talked about this, but just to fill people in, you've heard the story about a boy being a slave in a silver mine, not seeing the sun for years. He was marched into the mine to work before sunup and not allowed out until after sundown. So he's remembering when Kel Olin came to town that we had found signs of silver on the land, and as we were required by our Lord, because we would have no claim to it, we're required to report such claims, And we did, hoping for reward. A grateful lord who would now have great wealth. Instead, he rounded up many of the peasants and told them they were now going to be miners. And when some objected,
What happened?
killed, struck down some of them, including my parents.
With that magic hammer of his and his shining mithril plate mail, down they go.
I tried to fight him, and he laughed and kicked me in the head. And I was rounded up, enslaved, along with many others in the village, and forced to work before sunup till after sundown. For years, I'll pull out a coin, lay them out in a row. I remember each of the people that fell in mine over years and years of overwork, poor food, poor conditions, being beaten, pulling great wealth out of the ground for Kel Olin. Till finally, years later, I escaped. I heard a gypsy caravan that was set up and plying their trade late into the night with their music. And seeing the sun for the first time in years the next day. When I awoke, hidden under one of their carts. Question. I have no true loyalty, Malchus. I was doing all this strike back against the society, the system that puts its blessing on Kel Olin and people like him. That says this is law, this is order. It's people like Ali Sanguine on their side, defending their rights, who do as they please with their... Because that's the way the system works. They're defending it. Back against Kel Olin now. I ruined the work of Malchus. Do I care? And can I take him down? If I become strong enough? Remember how easily he struck down those who stood up to him. Struck down me, but I was a child then.
Well, Kel Olin Furin is a person that you have seen for many... You knew him for, what, a couple years? Many years?
Yes.
So you would have already had some idea as to his abilities and attributes. You already know that he has this mithril plate mail, wildly expensive, one of only a few suits in existence, handed down through the generations of his family. And you know he has a magic war hammer that is his primary weapon. But you might also have a good idea about many of his other stats or levels or things like that. So why don't you give me 3, 4, 5. Why don't you give me 6 insight checks just for his basic 6 stats, and we'll see what you know about him. And we'll just go through and see what you know about this guy.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. So your first one was a 17, right?
Yes.
All right. That would be his strength. So you know that he has 16 strength. Your next was a 12, which means you know that he's got 10 dexterity because you rolled more than he has. After that is a 22, so you know he's got 16 con. Int is next, 8. Well, he's got at least 8 intel. Maybe more. Maybe exactly 8. Wisdom, you rolled a 13. You know he definitely has only 8 wisdom. And charisma, you rolled a 14. Wow, you did very well on this, actually. So,
Got a sense of his level. That's important.
yeah. Give me another insight check. You probably already know this. Yeah, this is not a hard one. He's a 9th level fighter. And if you have his con and his level, you can figure out his HP.
Yeah.
Which is
90 hit points.
94 hits. It's a lot. Bring this stuff all on stream. There we go. You also know that he's left-handed. I guess that intel should be 8+, not just a straight 8. Send you the link to this document again, just to make sure you have it.
Does he know that I am not?
Copy link. That was loud. Here's the link again. The image that has all of his stats and your basic stats on it, everything. And actually, since you know his AC, his armor, and his dexterity, you know that he has exactly 18 AC.
Oh, I when he does not have it on. This is tough. Easiest way would be in his sleep. Poison. I brought this down.
Dwarves are particularly resistant to poison. They get advantage against poison saves, which isn't a guarantee that it won't affect him.
Maybe the time is not to try to kill him here. He arrived here separate, perhaps with some kind of mission. If he was here to see in the middle of the night, expecting Frederick, not just a guest, means he'll probably depart on his own.
I think a lot of people are going to be departing tomorrow.
Perhaps the thing to do is follow him on the road. Malchus can have his secret assassination while I take care of hell on my own. Hell over here.
So what are you going to do?
I wonder if Ripley knew that he was going to be coming. I wonder if she let me see the whole, or named the whole experience of having some kind of personal vendetta sort of setup. I wonder if this is partly some test on her part. Not sure if I care one way or another. All of this for me, not her. think I want to get him on, but I don't have an entire manor full of nobles and guards.
So you're gonna leave, head away from the estate
Yeah.
for now.
For now, I'm going to leave. I'm going to return to the inn where I'll be perfectly positioned to monitor people leaving and gather gossip.
Okay. You can sneak up off the rooftops. You have your gloves of swimming and climbing. You've already made your checks to see if you can scale the roof. So you can get down fairly easily and sneak away back to your inn. The Lemon Tree for Inglewood.
Yes.
It's late when you get in. No one's the wiser. The lovely little family there that are the caretakers of the inn are fast asleep. You can hear the snoring coming from their room out in the back. Have the rest of the night to yourself.
I don't think it's discovered until morning.
We're going to take our first break a little early here. And when we come back from our break, we're going to see how the assassin go off the rails a little bit. Maybe. We'll find out. See you guys on the other side of a break. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Assassin. All right, Rob.
They would all be so disappointed in feminist icon Neil Garrison Pass Erickson if they'd heard what I heard over the break.
Feminist icon? Me?
Oh, please. You took your wife's name.
We changed each other. We took both of each other's names. I was Neil Erickson.
I saw that.
She was Lauren Pass. Now we're both Pass Erickson. I don't think that makes me a feminist icon, though. Definitely not an icon.
Oh, yeah. See, even there, what he's not admitting is that it was actually Pass was an ironic nickname he was given because he was a complete ball hog.
That's literally the exact opposite. I hated having the ball when I played sports when I was a kid. I always wanted to pass it away to someone else. Oh, hey, here's my notes from last week. Look at that. It is Finkelstein, Silverfire, and Wells. Yeah, I hated having the ball. I'd always wanted to pass it away to someone else. I'm not into playing the sports.
Yes, and Mitaki's right. That was also, ironically, it fed into his second nickname in that Neil was a big fan of the arts. And he had a annual pass to the Santa Barbara Art Museum. Hence,
the art gallery
pass.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The old gallery pass Erickson. Me. The old gallery Koivu pass Erickson. I guess. Anyway, stop stalling for time, Rob. There's a dangerous murderer on the loose, and it's you.
Yeah, so I'm going to. No one's going to discover this until the morning. Well, maybe. I mean, they know he's in there.
But
Walter's already shown up. I'm going to get my sleep and bide my time. I'll have to wait for word to come out, because if they do some sort of, we're going to investigate everybody here, I don't want to have walked in and set myself up to be caught.
Right.
Especially as you're not with any of those houses whose tabards you have.
So there is one piece of evidence that suggests that there's something afoot here. There is a letter in the hands of in the pockets of a dead Frederick Drooper from a young lady Red Shield that she did not write. So there is a possibility that one of these NPCs might
letter
ask if
the handwriting can no longer really be discerned.
Why can it not be discerned?
Because it's been underwater.
Oh, that's right. His clothes were soaked. Oh, it's going to be a blurry letter. Ooh. Because that was fairly fresh ink. It was just written and waited to be dried, maybe, and then submerged underwater. So if someone can read that letter, they would definitely bring it up to the Lady Redshield. Why wasn't she there when he died if she would have invited him there? But it's a real question.
Thinking was that it implicates her rather than...
Perhaps it could implicate her. But that letter might also be completely unreadable. What would you say, Rob, is a fair way to see if that letter is legible after it's been submerged? Is it a 50-50 shot? Is it a knowledge check of some kind by an NPC? Maybe an investigation check?
Yeah, probably investigation to try to decipher it.
All right.
You could give it a level of indecipherability, and then that would be the target for them to beat.
Sure. So Kilcotton Hill is the one who will be investigating this. And maybe Olin Furin as well.
Not sure how much he was told. He must have been told something if Walter knew to look for him in that room.
Mm-hmm.
Walter will have heard him, which is really going to mess with time of death.
Yeah, so he was in there and asked to be left alone and then drowned later.
In a way that implied he had a lady in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's give them
Walter's going to testify that there was a woman in there.
He didn't hear a woman's voice. He just
but
heard...
he heard I did a kind of a little chuckle. I'm, occupied.
Right.
Which you wouldn't be doing if you were just sitting there. Well, maybe you would if you're sitting there by yourself, but I'm assuming...
I mean, hey, no presuppositions?
Yes.
No judgment here, man. You do whatever you want in your bath. So Cotton Hill can't decipher the letter. Olin definitely can't decipher the letter. He can't read very well. No, he must read well. He just... It's all Greek to him. So neither of them will really understand or know what the letter is. And would probably think it's something that he just had in his pocket.
Well, wasn't Cotton Hill there when I delivered the letter, and that he, basically ran out, leaving a streak of fire on the floor?
There was something to that effect. Yes. There may be evidence of that. Although this letter might not be that letter, or it might be one way or the other.
They must know something because Walter was sent to the bath.
Mm-hmm.
They must have known he was going to the bath.
Yes.
They're probably assuming he was meeting a woman.
Yes.
They're not like, oh, my accountant wants to meet me.
In the bath! Right now! Yeah, not so much of a thing. And no one urgently takes 2 a.m. baths or midnight baths. Not urgently, at least.
Yes, with a cheese platter and wine.
And wine, yes.
I really think they'll be going, second wine glass is missing.
So, there is definitely
Which means that, since these are probably just generic wine glasses, suddenly anybody who's got a wine glass in their room is going to look really suspicious.
Well, everybody's got a wine glass in their room. It's such a common thing at this point that...
They're all under suspicion.
So you're in the Lemon Tree Inn. You're in Goleta.
Yes.
And you don't really know what's going on at the estate at this moment. So what
I'll
is
be
your
finding
plan?
out pretty soon as people start streaming out.
Yes. So you're waiting in town, and about midday, you see coming down the road some carriages, some people on horseback, some people on foot. It looks like the great party over at the estate is breaking up and people are heading home.
Hopefully they're going to be coming in to pick up things from the inn.
Some of their servants' effects were left here at the various inns, and the servants woke up in the morning and headed into the estate to do their work, and then realized, oh my god, everything's falling apart, we got to come back. And so all the people in Goleta that have had servants quartered in their houses because they don't have a Fourth Amendment? Rob?
It's only about soldiers.
Right, but is that fourth?
We're not protected against having servants quartered.
So you don't know. No, fourth is unreasonable search and seizure.
Yeah, I think the third.
Third Amendment. Yeah, they don't have a Third Amendment that prohibits the government from quartering things in your house. Although
no,
I guess...
it's just quartering soldiers. It's specifically quartering soldiers.
So you're saying that the federal government could quarter...
was probably fine.
So they could still quarter servants in our houses. Okay. Yeah, so there's a mess as people are coming in to...
Kellyanne Conway could be forced to shelter her in your home at any point because she's not a soldier.
My God. I don't think any of us would survive that encounter. I think we would all just drive each other insane. But we're not here for that. Where are we? This is what we're looking for. Perfect. So, You are the servants are coming. Everyone's getting their gear picked up. It's a bit of a commotion going on, and word very quickly spreads to the small little lemon orchardy town of Goleta that someone has died unexpectedly.
All right, I will put on my Finkelstein tabard and go and gather information from clearly non-Finkelstein servants and avoid any Finkelstein tabards that I see. You know, and just, I mean, I'm sure everybody wants to gossip. And I'll just like, oh my God, what did you hear about it?
They say that Frederick drowned in the bath last night. He won too many glasses of wine and just slipped beneath the waters.
Was there anybody else in there with him?
What do you mean?
Elf.
I mean, no one...
Have any women with him? Or anybody
What
else?
proper young lady would be in the bath at 2 a.m. with Frederick Trooper? It's nonsense. That's slander. How dare you? But I did hear he had a certain affection for a young lady Redshield.
Oh.
And the crowds move as they quickly go about gathering their possessions and getting this thing.
I'm going to start feeding that around, as long as it's already got a foothold.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, somebody told me they saw her late at night heading over towards the bath, or saw her returning carrying a wine glass, and I'm going to start that little rumor going around.
Okay, all right. Give me a deception check. A rumor starting check. A gossip check. I have a gossip stat. Ooh. It burns like wildfire because there's already a grain of truth at the heart of that lie.
And especially if she was sneaking out that night with Walter.
But she didn't sneak out with Walter. What?
Since we already know, I'm just saying that since she was having a secret affair with Walter.
Oh, I see. Yes.
If she happened to have a rendezvous with Walter and was actually sneaking out,
right?
And there really were people might have seen her.
Right. So that rumor gets going around, definitely. But you find your thoughts returning to other pressing matters before you.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go report this to Ripley. And then I am going to return to keep an eye out for Olin. He hasn't passed this way, right?
You haven't seen him. Nope. And you had an eye on the road.
So I am going to back in my room, just change into traveling clothes with no tabard, change my appearance, and we're all heading down the same road.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't appear to be from any house. I'm just a traveler. And I'm heading out to see Ripley.
Okay.
I assume there's really only the one road in, so that Kel Olin will come this way.
It is that sort of town, just a single road in and out, just as if the town was built around the road rather than the road around the town. All right.
So I head to see Ripley because an extra level wouldn't hurt. Extra HP.
All right. You find Ripley down the road a little ways at this nice little roadside snack shop. They've got all sorts of fried things on sticks. And sometimes these fried things are covered in a bread or a dough, sometimes even a sweet dough. There's a donut-covered hot dog It's like a corn dog, but with a donut outside and a nice glaze on top of that. That is being served at this particular stand.
Just out of curiosity, were you
Yes,
at
there is cheese on it.
Oh, I was going to ask if you were at Charlie's party where we had the fryer and tried to experiment with the limits of what could be flash fried.
No, I was not at that party, but it sounds like fun.
Apparently, you can flash fry a Kit Kat bar.
Okay.
I'm just trying to remember what some of those other things were.
Did you just like put a Kit Kat bar? Did you bread it? Did you cover it in something, or it was just like Kit Kat bar oil?
I think we must have like rolled it in something,
right? Because otherwise the chocolate would just melt.
Yeah,
must have been rolled in something, donut crumbs or something like that. Anyway, here you are at this little squeaky roadside inn. The clouds overhead are slightly gray, and there's a bit of a drizzle coming down. Ripley sees you and gives a bit of a nod. Is there something else you need? Other tools?
you know that I may have need of things, but that mission is done.
Good.
I don't need to worry about it anymore because apparently young Frederick had a night of drinking in the bath and had a bit too much and slipped below the surface and drowned himself.
Excellent. Very good. We are moving up in the world, my young dear assassin. Next on our list is his father. Although he'll be a difficult man to get to, he'll be well guarded. But doesn't need to be anything particular. If you could make a big show of it, that would be great. But at the end, we just need him gone. Give you some time to get your stuff together. And we can talk about poor Albrin Drooper. Well, not poor Albrin Drooper. Very rich, very needing to die. Aldrin Drooper, she says, sort of speaking very plainly and openly about things that she's normally quite careful about.
Looking about this, what do I notice about her? She's speaking this openly. I'm wondering if anybody besides her is part of the architects or our contacts or minions or...
Yeah, you're looking about. There's no one else really here. There's just the fried food guy who is currently stuffing us meat into an intestine to make some more sausages to put on sticks to cover with donut stuff and deep fry. He's a little ways away, probably not overhearing you. Certainly not reacting to it.
I look him over. I try to do this subtly. I'm looking for any hidden weapons, little bulge, or when he bends a certain way that might reveal that, oh, he's got a dagger in the small of his back or anything like that.
Make me
seal such a thing.
Make me a perception check. See if you can't spot something hidden on him. You are very strongly confident he has no hidden blades on him. He really does look just like a roadside vendor.
This is interesting. She's been acting a bit strange around this whole thing. But before and now. Interesting. Not sure what to make of that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, what are the parameters of this mission?
Open. And he'll be guarded. It'll be a difficult one. But if we can do this, the entire eastern seaboard... the entire western coast of Eridon will be... falling apart. moves are already being made in the east. Other certain noble houses have fallen. Counties are in disarray. Truly is a new beginning for our people.
The timetable for this.
You have as much time as you need. Although, the more noble families drop, the more suspicious he will become. So, take it as you will.
And there are no restrictions as to where this must happen or anything?
She shakes her head. We're reaching the end of our mission here. Dearly beloved Albrin will go, and that might be the end of our work. That might be the last thing. We'll see what happens after that.
And on, poison list. Did have that. Wondering whether to. What would my resources for this be?
Our supplier has recently found some new naturally occurring sedatives and paralytics and hemotoxins and neurotoxins. We have some new tools at our disposal. You can, practically speaking, you have access to rare poisons now as well, instead of just common and uncommon. I think that's everything except for one. I think there's one very rare poison. The wyvern poison is very rare, but you should have access to everything else on the poison document, which I can send you again. Need it.
Yeah, sorry that I don't have that.
That's fine. There's the document, and then here's the outline that goes with it.
Do I mean, I had some experience of Kel Olin. Does he, as far as I know, does he typically travel with an entourage? Does he have some particular minions that are always at his side?
No. This guy is one of those. I mean, he's the 9th level fighter with a magic hammer and mithril plate mail. He doesn't need any assistance. I mean, he might have them for certain areas, but he's more than capable of holding his own in combat, and is a fairly fearless individual. He's an older dwarf who's seen a lot in his life and has come out on top of it over and over and over again. So he usually travels alone when he travels. When you saw him back at the mines, he had plenty of people around, but that's because he was sort of running a mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions?
So I'm looking at, so the higher the number for the kill, the better, or?
The what?
So I'm looking at the
oh, I see, the poison document.
Kill.
Yeah, so the special con checks that we're using for these poison saves are a d20 plus your constitution score, not the modifier. And then you need to pass whatever DC. So if you're looking at like neurotoxins, it's really hard to actually kill someone outright with one of these poisons. It's not impossible, it's just really unlikely. You'd need to probably like double or triple dose someone, double or quadruple dose someone, in order to get it in a place where there would be even a chance of it happening. Poisons are difficult to outright kill people with.
And he's got an advantage.
But there are plenty of side effects of these things, right? We've got debilitating and irritating poisons, things that might just outright incapacitate people, or things that might prevent them from healing or resting, things that will tick away at them, slowly eating at them.
Now, do they still, what I was wondering is, do they still suffer those effects if they're making all their appropriate saves?
Well,
Does the save mean no effect, or does it mean, oh, you only take this effect instead of the other effect?
So we have 5 subsets of poisons. Which one are you talking about in particular? Take a look at it.
I'm trying to think of which ones might be useful against them.
Right.
The ingestion poisons, I've noticed, do have very high DCs. Although still likely to make those if he's adding 16 to his D20 roll.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. What was... which ingestion poison are you looking at in particular?
I was just looking in general. I was trying to look for what, if anything, has a high DC.
Right.
But might actually have a chance of affecting it.
So if we... What's got a nice high DC here? Some of these necrotic poisons do.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at the what does type M do?
So a type M poison is a necrotic poison. The target would make a DC 25 special poison save, and if they fail, they will take 1 point of damage, and they will not be able to benefit from any form of natural rest or healing. And then every 8 hours, they will make another check. And if they fail, they just keep taking another point of damage every 8 hours until they pass. If they fail by 5 or more, they take another point of damage. If they fail by 10 or more, they take 2 more points of damage. So the Viper poison is unlikely to really kill someone quickly, but it might leave them in a state where they can't rest, which maybe not super important for this Dwarven Warrior, but for like a spellcaster, if they can't rest, they can't rememorize spells, or if someone's already wounded or something.
Yeah, and he'll be able to get help from a cleric or something. That would obviously kill him.
Right. And if you gave him a double dose, the DC on that would be 30 instead of 25.
But he's...
Still need a 14 to beat.
Yeah,
but still, you know...
He's got advantage. With advantage, that is 50-50.
Mm-hmm. A lot of these things are going to be pretty tough to poison a high con dwarf with.
Yes. That's the highest DC, and even that is...
well, some of these neurotoxins have high DCs as well. The Belladonna and Deathcap, the type D, has an irritant that's really high, although irritants aren't super useful. That's just a penalty of 2 to hit in combat. The Curare has a pretty high irritant DC as well, and a pretty high debilitating DC. If he were to fail his check to pass the debilitating effects, he would have speeds and stats reduced by 1/3, and hit AC and initiative penalties of 5. So if his stats would then be reduced, and he'd have combat penalties, that might bring him down to the point where you could effectively fight him. If you reduce his stats by 1/3, his strength becomes like 10 instead of 16. His con becomes 10. You know? That's...
I want to fight him. I want to kill him. Fighting is for meatheads like him.
Well, if you debilitate him...
Fighting someone you failed.
If you debilitate him with the Curare, That'll give you 6 hours in which you could poison him again, and then his poison check would only be at +10 instead of at +16.
So that's injection. So basically, I would have to stab him with it and then leave him alone for a while.
Yes, if you could feed it to him via ingestion, but he would have a bonus to his save. So that's sort of an awkward one to get in there.
Yeah, so that's...
Let's see.
I would basically have to stab him and go, "I'll kill you in 6 hours," and run away.
Well, that's how a lot of poisons work, you know? It's the hit you now and come chase you down later. That's why we're using this other poison system.
It's gonna get help. I mean, in a world where
it's true,
help is only a temple away.
Yeah.
With some sort of, neutralized poison. All right, it's gonna have to be taking him out and in while he's asleep. It's gonna have to be the way to do it.
What's this?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I shall... I tell her I shall have to do recon, then I shall tell you. Perhaps be able to give you a better idea of what I plan against Count.
Of course.
Where is he to be found right now?
Last he was spotted in the keep in High Castle, the city itself.
I say, all right, this will likely take some time. Be done right.
Do you wish to start right away? No break in between?
I say, well, given that the time is unlimited, is there a difference between a break and starting right away?
No. None whatsoever. I just thought maybe you would need a moment to rest and relax after your harrowing mission. Maybe not.
I say I shall be taking care of some things. But I am uninjured. I am well.
Good.
All right. And so is this at an inn? I mean, we're at a roadside stand. Is this a little village? What's the situation here?
This is a little roadside stand near a couple of small farmhouses, kind of just out in the country. The proprietor of the stand is probably lives at one of these farmhouses, and this is like supplementary income. Up the road is Galita, down the road is more small little farming villages that scatter around this area.
All right. So, thinking of when I came up here is my guess is that one day's travel from Galita, there's some sort of roadside inn where someone would stay.
Yeah.
Or are we like close enough to High Castle? I mean,
well, there are roadside inns for people to stay if they need, but from Galita to High Castle is only like a 10-mile, as the crow flies, journey. So maybe 12 miles total. So you could easily make it in a day if you're on horseback, or even if you're on foot and you don't mind walking for most of the day.
Where do I know where Kel Olin typically would be found? Would he be found in High Castle?
Yeah, he is the captain of the guard for the family in High Castle, or for Alburn Drooper, right? So as the captain of the guard, he normally hangs out in High Castle as the guard for the family. What he's doing out here is unknown. But he would normally be there.
I'm going to catch him asleep. Probably going to be in the castle at High Castle.
Mm-hmm.
That's not very... Oh.
Well, it's a half-day journey, especially for a dwarf. It's a little more than that, and you're already at midday and haven't seen him come down the road yet. So he's definitely not making it to High Castle today. Yes, yes.
How to deal with him. Don't want him to be armored or armed. If I can sneak in and steal his magic hammer, so that it's when he reaches for it to bite me, he doesn't have it at hand. I'm guessing I can do fairly well against him if he's unarmed.
If he's unarmed and unarmored, then you just need to do 94 points of damage to him, which isn't unreasonable for you. Why don't you... Actually, there's a few other things that you might be able to know about him. Let me look them up first, and then we'll see... why don't you give...
Specialization as a fighter?
Yeah, you might. Give me 4 more insight checks.
1, 2, 3.
All right.
Not great.
So you know that he has the Great Weapon Master feat?
So it's just like a massive hammer?
No, it's a war hammer, but Great Weapon Master feat will work with it if he uses it with 2 hands, which is probably why he doesn't use a shield. Great Weapon Master says, on your turn, when you score a critical hit with a melee weapon or reduce a creature to 0 hit points with one, you can make 1 melee weapon attack as a bonus action.
You definitely want him unarmed.
And before you make a melee attack with a heavy weapon that you are proficient with, you can choose to take a -5 penalty to the attack roll. If the attack hits, you add +10 to the attack's damage. Now, Warhammer's not a heavy weapon. Find this wrong?
Let us hope.
Warhammer is a variable weapon, isn't it? It is a versatile weapon and not a heavy weapon. Okay, so I guess he doesn't have that other one. He doesn't have the -5 to hit and +10 to damage with his Warhammer. He does have the, if you crit, you can get an extra attack, or if you reduce someone to 0 HP, you get an extra attack. You also know that he has the Observant feat. You are quick to notice details of your environment. If you see a creature's mouth while it is speaking a language you understand, you can interpret what it's saying by reading its lips. And you have a +5 bonus to your passive perception score.
So while sleeping.
Yep. You don't know his fighter style or his fighter subclass. Oh, and give me one more investigation check for what you might know about his weapon. What you might have picked up along the years. No. You just know that he's got a magic hammer of some kind. Yeah.
Easy.
Definitely not going to be easy.
Do I know, does he, I mean, you were implying that he would be walking. Is that something typical of him? Does he typically walk?
He has this odd disposition with mounts. You're not sure why, but you've never seen him mounted. Back when he was running the silver mines up there, he walked everywhere. Sometimes he would have, assistants mounted, but he would always walk everywhere. Or, be in a carriage or be driven by something. But he had an aversion to quadrupedal creatures. That's not true. An aversion to being mounted. He had no problem with dogs or cats as companions. So what are you thinking? Fill us in.
I don't really have anything good yet. I was hoping that he would be spending the night at an inn. I didn't realize it was that close.
Mm-hmm. They're quite close.
Day walk.
Yeah. Could you contrive some reason to get him to stop at an inn? There are roadside problems all the time.
Are there inns along the road if it's that shorter road between the two places?
There are various little small villages scattered about, and some of those villages will have inns, definitely. People need to visit,
Oh. I can't. Most I could think is he would stop somewhere to get some food. Only he wasn't so freaking resistant to poison. Would observant kick into noticing if his food was poisoned?
I think it's a visual observant, not necessarily a tasteful observant. So I don't think it would affect his taste receptors, just his, visual awareness.
Wondering about just poisoning all the food out.
Just poison the whole inn.
Oh, food poisoning. Well, I mean, that would be the most likely thing, would be, food poisoning.
I mean, if everyone gets sick at
the stew was bad. Just gonna be, he's gonna be passing these damn things. Crazy. With advantage.
Yeah.
That's not even gonna work. It's just slow him down. Hiring somebody to. I'm just trying to think of like hiring a. When he comes back, he's going to be in full business mode. He's not going to be looking, or letting himself be stopped by anything. That's not an emergency.
So could you contrive some sort of emergency? If he's in full business mode, is there something that you could do to get his attention? Could you bait him?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what that could be. If I'm going to pull that off, I need... That's what I'm thinking. I need a grouper tabard.
Well, you've got Ripley right here. She can probably get anything that you need.
That probably, well, I guess he might be the at the estate for more than a day.
Perhaps he might also
Might
leave
be investigating, or
immediately.
he might, yeah.
But
Say,
you
how
could go
quickly
steal a tavern.
I'll ask Ripley how quickly a super tavern could be made.
Well, considering it is the next mission, we have a few items of that sort on hand already. I would just need to fetch them. We weren't expecting you to be quite so eager, quite so ready.
How soon could it be fetched?
Could leave now and return tomorrow with it. If you were that ready.
It may be important to strike before word gets out.
Of course.
I'll have to see, but it's best to be prepared for any opportunity.
Well, let me know what your needs are, and I will get them all taken care of. Are there any other supplies? Okay.
And the quicker the better, so that I could potentially intercept word.
Mm-hmm. She gets up, leaves a few silver coins on the table, and walks down the road.
All right. I'm going to look for a place where I can watch. I guess I'll pass this stand so that I can both see Ripley is returning and see if Olin is coming. Like somewhere where there's a stand of trees or someplace where I could conceal myself for a long term, obviously out of the village, to watch the road.
All right. In this village, or did you want to go back into Galil?
I want to be out of the village. Obviously, like me just sitting.
Oh, it's like under
a tree is kind of like, what you doing there?
Sure.
So, like, say a quarter-mile past the village, finding a stand of trees or something. Where
did you want to be visible, like
sitting
under the tree, or hiding in the tree?
Yes, I want a hidden place where I can watch the road.
All right, you find yourself a hidden place where you can watch the road. There's little copse of trees by the side of the road somewhere with a small creek running through it. And on the other side, there are a few standing trees as well. You could be either side, creek side or non-creek side of the road.
All right, given that he is observant, I want to make a pretty good hiding place for myself here.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's not going to go, what's that? The man in the trees?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Essentially, I just have to be able to recognize either a dwarf in shiny armor or a Ripley.
Right. These things will not... Well, Ripley might be hard to detect. She changes her outfit often and is pretty good at blending in. The dwarf in shining plate mail will be easy to spot. So go ahead and give me your stealth check at advantage because you have set up time for your hiding spot. 26, very nice. That's definitely much higher than his passive perception, even with his observant feat in there.
All right, and I wait.
And you wait. So, the rest of that day passes. You find yourself spending the night in a tree, a little bit damp from the slight rain that's been pouring all day. And the next day, you're sitting in this tree, waiting, when you see Ripley coming up the road. She hasn't changed her outfit, and she's power walking like she's in a competition down the road quickly.
I will go to meet her.
All right. She hands you a set of robes. Trooper family servant robes.
All right, I say thank you. And
anything else?
I think this will do for now. So where was their inn then?
There are various inns along the road. Is there a specific setup that you're looking for, or just any old roadside inn?
Are any of them in any way isolated? Or are they all in little villages? Or
Uh, they're all in really small little villages just along the way. You can find the one in the most isolated, smallest village.
that sounds good.
Okay.
Uh,
This place is called the Bent Nail.
so Lompoc, Buellton. I guess this is especially isolated. Probably Buellton.
Yes, this is the small town of Buellton. Very, very few people ever come here unless they're visiting someone or passing through. It's
Or
known
have a hankering for split pea soup.
Yes, yes. There was a. Oh, that would have been a good name. Yeah, that's kind of a hot place for the area. You know, most of the time, most of the area around here is fairly temperate, but there's a small microclimate surrounding Buellton that makes it uncomfortably warm all the time. Here you
All right.
are.
So let's see. I need to compose. Seal a trooper's seal would be a useful thing to have, but that's not going to happen.
Mm-mm. Definitely not. And he would be able to recognize the family seal very easily. A forged seal might be hard to get past to this guy. He's been working for this family for a couple hundred years.
Okay, what kind of note is he going to buy, but it just without a family seal on it? What kind of note would not have a family seal on it? Would he he's probably going to recognize, damn it, going to recognize Alvarin's handwriting, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Don't have a sample to copy.
No.
Damn it, I was going to try to set up some sort of, have a note delivered to him by a servant telling him to stay meet at the Bent Nail at Buellton here. Then await instructions in the morning, but there's not really a good... Unless I knew a lot more about the whole Hightower family and that somebody was like the spy master or, to put it, that person's handwriting or something. Just not coming up with any good things here. Only I had magic. Big net. The dwarf net to drop on him as he passes up the streets.
A dwarf net?
Yes.
It's a very special thing. It's got like a little pint of ale hanging down from it, and then the net on top with maybe, I don't know, like some wood carving tools down below the ale. That's how it works.
Yeah. So, can't think of any good thing.
I think I finally stumped Rob after what seems like a lifetime of trying to back him into a corner. It's finally happened.
Be too many guards around for me to, if I had to end up in a fight with him, even unarmed, at the estate.
I won D&D. I finally stumped Rob.
There's no good way. I need advantage on this guy. I can't just meet him in single combat. That would be suicide.
Beautiful day, guys. It's finally been done.
Gonna see through any forgeries.
We'll never figure it out. Might as well just admit defeat right now, Rob. You can't do it.
Oh, I might burn down the whole castle with him in it later, but that high castle. But he's going to die. Just it would be much more convenient to do it here, out on the road, in an inn. It's not. I mean, he doesn't have a mount. It's not like he's gonna throw a horseshoe and need to be reshoed. I don't know. Chat. Does chat have any suggestions here?
I think they're all suggesting you should just give up. You clearly can't solve it.
I see something about underwear gives you a +2 to your AC and charisma checks. I feel like if I follow the comments back, there might be some context to that. I don't know. They're giving me Team Rocket style pit trap.
Is that just like a pit in the ground that he's supposed to walk into?
I don't know. I'm not really sure what a Team Rocket style pit trap is. I mean, I've got Sophie, who's kind of a Meowth. Got that. Distract his troops, get goblins to attack a nearby village. I suppose I could attack a village. Leave them to investigate it.
Trying to kill this guy, so instead you have like monsters come and start raiding villages and call everyone to action. Might be slightly harder to murder somebody when they think there's a battle going on or a war is being waged.
Well, I was just thinking leaving something for him to investigate. But if Frederick is dead, that's the problem. That's high enough priority that he could be like, everyone in this village has been killed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave that for the regular guards to come back and deal with. I've got an important mission to deal with.
Hmm. Well, we're going to leave Stumped Rob here. We're going to go to our second break, and we'll come back on the other side of our second break. And if we can't come up with a plan, then we'll just declare that the DM has won this game. And
pack of lit dynamite, which I deliver as a telegram. Special delivery. The wrong cartoon we're thinking of. I should be thinking of Pokemon. I should be thinking of Bugs Bunny.
I That sounds like a Wile E. Coyote moment to me. Delivering lit dynamite to someone.
Actually, what I was thinking of, although they were spoofing Bugs Bunny, was Blazing Saddles.
Oh.
When he's trying to take out Mongo.
Right.
Telegram!
All right, we're going to go take our break. We'll be back in a little bit, everyone. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Assassin. All right, Robert, what's the plan?
So I'm going to go with a version of the first plan I had when I asked for the tabard. It occurs to me that while he can probably recognize the falsity of any note that he has, he can't recognize the falsity of any note that he does not have.
That is true.
So first off, I'm going to move north along the road from Galita. I'm looking for a spot. The ideal spot would be top of some sort of rise where I can see down the road, where I can be like fairly hidden and see down the road to see him coming. But have some sort of brush or trees or something up on the top of the hill that I could be fairly hidden in so that he wouldn't see. And luckily, he's going to be pretty much a freaking beacon, being a short person in super shiny armor, compared to me, who would hopefully be, still at a long distance and hidden. Is there such a spot? Can I find such a spot?
Yes. Did you said north on the road? Did you mean between Galita and the estate, or did you want
north of Lompoc?
Okay. Of Buellton? North of Buellton.
Oh, sorry, Buellton. Yeah.
Between Buellton and Galita, there's a little stretch called Gaviota that you can find yourself in. That's really, there's not much around, and it's a bit of a windy road with some hills there, so you have some good stretches with solid cover.
Yes, do you remember when they used to have that really terrifying looking, like, dystopian future processing plant that just looked like pollution embodied along the road? It was like sort of...
Is it gone? Have they moved it or removed it?
No, they saw this thing. Like, I knew somebody who literally called it hell. That was like just his name for it. And so you saw this horrible, like, just scourge upon the environment.
All these pipes and like smokestacks and open flames of like fuel being burned off, and
it looked like a place that would make a Shadow Run team go, I don't know. But they solved it by building a big berm so you couldn't see it.
Oh, okay. So you just block it from public view.
Yes. So people go, oh, I can no longer see the hellish-looking refinery. Everything's fine now.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that seems perfect. So hill with some cover, like there's some trees up there, or what kind of cover do we have?
You've got trees and sort of rocky outcroppings.
All right. That might be perfect. I am going to... I just need a body.
You need a body. You have a body. You want to use yours?
I'm using mine.
Okay.
I need a body that someone won't be using.
A dead body?
Yes, but I'm willing to do it myself.
Is there a particular way this person needs to die?
No, I just need to find somebody. By themselves.
Here's the country. Here's the quiet, open countryside around you with various greatly separated farmhouses. There are plenty of peasants around. One could easily be found and murdered and taken wherever you need.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go look for I'm just gonna, from one of these farms, try to find somebody fairly isolated, nobody else is around, and I'm just gonna
there's a guy milking a cow, not too far from the side of the road. He's beyond a fence, maybe like 60 feet, 80 feet or something. He's got a small herd of maybe 8 cattle, and he's sitting on a little stool milking one of them with his back to you.
All right. Does this seem like I could actually sneak up on him, or?
Yeah, he's got his back to you. He's 60 feet away. You can close that gap fairly quickly, especially with your boots of elven kind.
All right. Well, I don't even need to sneak up on him very close, as long as I'm within short range of a bow. And a bow probably will fit into this little charade.
Yep.
I will shoot him in the back, which is an assassination.
Yep. So just don't miss. I mean, he's an 8 HP peasant.
Yeah. Let's see, where are my weapons? There we go, short bow. God damn it.
Did you really roll a 9?
Yes,
missed.
and the other one was a 1 on the...
You missed.
I would have advantage on this. I actually fucking missed.
Yeah, so there's just a poor peasant sitting down, oblivious to everything, just sort of milking his cow like you do, probably daydreaming about knows what. And this arrow goes, boo!
Message for you, sir.
And 1, 2 is gonna be a little high. And you know what? You strike his cow instead. Roll me cow damage.
I assume that's a sneak attack on the cow.
It is a sneak attack on a cow. Yes, it is.
All right. So I get my sneak attack damage, which got it.
And since the cow is effectively surprised and hasn't had a round in combat yet, don't you assassinate? So any attack rolls against a creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat yet is a crit, or is any hits you score against a creature that is surprised is a crit. So I think that's what's your bow damage, but it's double bow damage plus double sneak attack damage. Oh, and you should also be level 7 right now.
Yes.
Right. So you
Which doesn't change my hit roll, but
but it might change your sneak attack damage. I think it goes up at level 7.
Does it now? That's something I forgot to check.
Yes, it goes to 4d6. So you need to do 8d6 plus 2. So 10d6 plus 4 is what we're looking at.
Oh, dear God, it like passed through the cow.
Yeah. And you should get another 4 HP, so you should be at 31.
5. Is it 5?
But you have 8 con, so you get a penalty of 1,
true.
yeah.
Yes.
So you get 31 HP. And you also get evasion ability. Beginning at 7th level, you can nimbly dodge out of the way of certain spell effects. When you're
I don't need to be casting spells at me.
When you make a dexterity saving throw to only take half damage, you instead take no if you succeed and half if you fail. That's really nice, but maybe not super useful for cow fighting. I think 39 damage obliterates a cow.
I'm guessing that it basically went in one of the cow's eyes, or kind of
it just passes.
It went in one eye and passed out the other.
So the poor farmer's there, just kind of milking the cow, gazing off into space, and then the cow just kind of like tips over, and he's like, "Huh? What?"
I thought that was a myth.
Starts to get up from his stool and goes over to look at the cow.
Can I take another shot while he still isn't?
You can.
To figure out.
Well, I'm going to ask you to roll initiative now against the random NPC farmer. Oh, that's going to be better than his roll. Yeah. Even if he has high dex, it's still going to be better than his initiative. Go for it. You get another shot at him. There you go. Now you hit him in the back, and he dies.
All right.
Probably. Yeah, I don't think he cannot die. No.
All right, so I will go retrieve the arrow out of the dead cow. Like I guess it probably went all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to take the arrow out of the guy.
Okay, you remove the arrows from the corpses.
Him in tabard. So I'm going to take him up to my lookout spot.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to change him into the tabard.
I see. I was wondering what you were going to do with a dead body.
I'm going to poke the arrow through the tabard into the wound without trying to make too much like of an additional wound here.
Right.
For good measure, I'm going to beat him a bit with like find some branch or something to use as a club.
Yep.
And smack him a few times, including the face, to hide his identity in case Kel Olin probably knows a lot of the servants.
Do you mutilate the body?
So I'm making it look as if like, oh, they were just like some bandits were beating him with their clubs, not
highway robbery,
literally trying to, hide his identity. And if I can, I'll put like a bit of a blood trail so it looks like he got hit by the arrow, tried to crawl away, and then bandits set upon him with their clubs.
Mm-hmm.
I will try to lay footprints, more or less, to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to make it seem like there were several sets of footprints.
Okay.
And I'm going to take my pouch. I'm going to transfer everything that was in my pouch into my backpack. And I believe I had a scroll tube. I am going to... what I'm going to do is put my pouch on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to lay the scroll tube empty beside him.
So, scroll tube, empty pouch, right? Empty pouch? Full pouch?
Yes, empty pouch.
Empty pouch. Man dressed as a servant of the Drooper family, dead and beaten by brigands.
Yes. And I am going to lay some tracks that lead away from here. You said there's lots of rocky outcroppings.
Lots of them. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that lead towards the rocky outcroppings.
Okay.
Who knows? There could be a bandit cave hidden in there. Someone could search for that for a long time.
Oh.
And I'm going to have this body... So I've laid these tracks. I'm guessing most people wouldn't really pay attention to them. I'm going to keep the body where it's not going to be seen by anybody traveling on the road until I actually notice Kel Olin coming up, in which case I'm going to have this all preset, so I can just sort of lay the body.
So when you see him, you can put the body there and do your thing. Okay.
And I'm looking for I'm going to predetermine a way to book out that, like, okay, I can step on these rocks and not leave tracks. Well, I'm got freaking boots of elven kind, so that should help with the not leaving tracks thing.
Okay. So you've got the body. You're hanging out in the Gaviota region, and it's maybe a 2 or 3 hour wait. It's a sort of later in the afternoon that you see coming down the road is our dearly beloved Kel Olin Furin.
All right. So I've moved the body to where it seems sort of hidden in the bushes, but it's not entirely hidden in the bushes.
Mm-hmm.
To the side here, where an observant person will certainly notice it with their passive perception.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
while thinking that they're clever for noticing it, going, ah, an unobservant person wouldn't have seen this. And I will very carefully avoid making tracks.
Well, sure enough, the corpse is spotted by the heavily armored dwarf who's walking down the road. And he stops. He comes over, and he looks at the body, and he rolls it over, and he starts rifling through possessions, seeing the scroll case, seeing the pouch. Can I get... You're wanting to be in a spot where you can see these actions, yeah?
Actually, I can just book, because my goal is to keep him busy searching around for so long that he stays at the nearby inn.
Okay, so you're not actually here to see what he does.
Occupied during the day. I don't want to fight him while he's on high alert. That would be ridiculous. What I'm doing now is going to the inn at Buellton here.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's one in Gaviota.
There's definitely no inn in Gaviota.
Of course. So I go to the inn at Buellton, next place up the road.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me about this inn.
It is kind of a know-nothing inn. It's called Island View. And you look around, there's no islands in view anywhere. Who would name this Island View Inn? But that's what they've called it. It's kind of a quiet little place. There's a small little common room that looks like it doubles as the family's family room for the family that owns it. It's a small little family. You see a mother and a daughter inside, just sort of hanging out. One of them's making tea. The other one's butchering a small animal. They look up as you enter.
All right. I put on the guise of a tired traveler. Hello. Do you have lunch on, or do you have stew on the fire or anything? Something for a hungry traveler?
We have avocado toast. Will that do?
Avocado toast will be more than sufficient.
Excellent. 5 gold pieces, please.
5 gold pieces?
It's a joke. It's a joke. I'm kidding. A copper, please. And she goes over and produces some avocado toast for you.
I say, also, do you have any rooms here?
Rooms here? For the night? Yes, of course we do.
Yes, it's been a long morning. I'm thinking I might rest. I'm deciding. Can I see them?
She leads you to a very small, cozy room. It's maybe 5 feet wide at most, maybe like 8 feet long. The bed tucked in the corner. A small little coat rack for you to hang your stuff. Some carpets, towels to clean yourself off with. A cozy little room attached to the main common room. You see 3 other doors nearby that look like they could all lead to separate rooms, and there's sort of a kitchen-y area, and you can look down the hall that runs adjacent to the kitchen to see that it leads back towards what is probably the private residence of the family that owns this inn.
All right, I open the windows to look out, get an idea of the view.
Yeah, it's all ground level,
okay.
And you've got a view of some trees.
All right, I'll want to see all the rooms, including if there's a nice private room, whatever is the nicest room, because I'm guessing that's what Kel Olin is going to take.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll, again, open the windows, the shutters in each one. I want to see them all. And how many rooms are there? And is there like a nicest room?
There are 4 rooms. They're all equally decadent. Which is to say that they're all kind of crap.
None of them is the nicest.
No, there are no nice rooms here.
All right, so he could pick any of these.
Yeah.
I could come back 2 more times dressed differently and rent 2 more rooms, forcing him into the 4th room.
Wow, lots of travelers today. So the mom who's leading you around and showing you these things is getting maybe a little antsy. You notice her shifting her weight a lot as you're like examining each of the rooms, looking for the good room, and she's kind of like, is everything to your liking?
Well, I guess. I mean, these rooms are all pretty much the same. I guess it doesn't matter.
They are. We're just a small family-run roadside inn. Nothing fancy. We don't get a lot of customers.
All right, I guess I'll pick one. And I suppose this in a bowl of your famous split pea soup.
Of course. And she will produce
I saw the signs for it. I hope it's as good as advertised.
Well, we don't use little small men and mallets to split the peas. That's just a cartoony drawing my daughter put together for us. But the soup is good. Some might even say it's great.
All right, then. So I'll sit down for, I'm assuming these are the Andersons. For some Anderson split pea soup.
Yep. They will produce a bowl of split pea soup, and maybe 5 minutes after the soup is served, the door opens up, and there's a dwarf in plate mail dragging a body by the heel, who storms into the common room, plops the body down by the fire without a word, looks around,
horrified.
Sees the mother, and says, 2 rooms for the night. 1 for the corpse, 1 for me. The mom kind of shakily leads him to a room, looking aghast. Olin ignores you entirely, drags the body into one of the 2 rooms, plops it on the bed, and immediately stalks off to the other one. Shuts the door. Is out of sight.
All right. So, and each of the windows into those rooms are unlatched unless he thinks to latch them. It would have been nicer for me to have a little bit of time before he arrived to practice with the latches,
but here it is.
You gotta roll with what you got. All right.
The mother, Mrs. Anderson, comes over and goes, I'm sorry about the disturbance. I hope that won't put you off staying here for the night.
Does that happen a lot?
She shakes her head. No, not ever. But that there is Kel Olin Furin. He's the personal bodyguard and captain of the guard for the Drooper family. Recognize him by his plate mail. That bluish color to it. It's mithril, she says, kind of expecting a large reaction from you.
No, really?
Whole thing.
Oh, but why is he dragging a body?
Best not to ask questions or disturb him. In fact, if you don't mind, can I hurry you off to your room already? If he wants the common room for anything, he should have it. He's carrying a body with him.
Okay, yeah, I suppose.
She hurriedly kind of shoves you into one of the rooms, promises to bring you tea, soup, and crackers to make you comfortable, and goes away. She'll come back in 5 minutes with tea, soup, and crackers for you, but that's it.
All right. Just out of curiosity, are we is this room and the room that he went into for himself, not the body room, on the same side of the inn?
Yes. I don't have a map for this since I didn't know where you were going to be going, so I'm just going to doodle, and we'll play with the doodle. So I'm going to go do it in the grasslands to the east of where you are. So we have, where's my polygon tool? There we go. We've got a basic room here. Let's make it smaller. off of which are 4 bedrooms. The front door is right here. Oops. Right there. That's an awkward front door. I'll fix it later. And there is a kitchen right over here that kind of takes up this corner. I'll label that in a moment. And then this hallway that leads down to family's side of the inn, which you know stretches out to here or something. Maybe not quite that big. So
I didn't have a hallway to that. That just like unnecessarily takes away from their room.
It's a good question. So the K is the kitchen, the C is the common room, the O is Olin's room, the B is the body's room, the A is the assassin's room. This last little corner out here is actually a shed that's accessible from the outside.
Oh, darn. I was hoping that maybe I had a window over here that looked towards a window over there. But that would
unfortunately not. Yeah.
All right.
Let's try.
You know what? It's still fairly early, right?
Yeah, it's late afternoon, but the sun is still up. Not for long, though.
All right. I guess I should take a nap since I plan to get up later.
So you sleep.
All right. And then is dinner in a little while?
Yes. Eventually there's a on your door. And when you open it, there's the daughter. She comes in bearing some more soup and toast and crackers and a little bit of cheese and a couple, like a bottle of wine and a glass. She says, these are on the house. Just, keep quiet and to yourself tonight if you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank you. And she shuts the door.
All right. And do they have any water in here just for purposes of washing or
yes,
drinking?
There's a small wash basin with a bucket nearby.
All right. I'm not going to have any of the wine. I don't want to be eased into sleep. I'm going to drink a lot of water so that I'll wake up in the middle of the night since I don't have an alarm clock.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And then I will go to sleep.
Okay.
I'm wondering, this is interesting that he got a room this early. He didn't really look around. Did he depart?
You've been in your room for a while. You have heard noises kind of coming from through the walls. It sounds like the dwarf is here somewhere.
Okay, because I'm guessing a plate mail-clad figure is loud.
Yes, there is plenty of banging about as he clatters into things. He's not particularly a graceful fellow. He's here for some reason. Yeah. Eventually, the sun goes down.
All right. Well, as I said, I'm going to go to sleep so that I'm well rested in the middle of the night when I wake up to go pee. And hopefully it'll be nice and late, and it'll be time to.
Well, the night comes. You wake up somewhere in the middle of the night, and
looking out my window, can I get a sense from the moon of how late in the night it is?
It's late, the witching hours. I guess that's early.
I don't know. I guess
it's so late. It's early.
The witches are.
Yeah.
Out the window I go.
Out the window.
I'm gonna have my I'm going to have all my gear. Backpack, rapier, have my bow. I will even take Sophie out and set her up on the roof of the inn. I might have to come back for her later. I say, sorry, Sophie, we need to go. We're probably gonna need to go, and the inn might catch fire, so it'd be best if you weren't trapped in a room.
She curls up to sleep on the thatch of the roof.
I'm assuming that even a cat would get up to move if the thatch catches fire.
Only if the fire was actually endangering the cat's life. You know, if it got sort of close, she might get up. But you know how cats are.
All right. The doors open in, I assume.
Yes, into the bedrooms.
So there's no way to block his door from inside. Does my door have a lock?
No.
All right, so it's not even like I can jam a lock.
Yeah, they don't seem to lock.
He's a beefy fighter. He's probably got good athletics, and he can probably batter down a door.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna go to the corner of the inn and take a peek over that way.
Quiet, open, no one in sight.
Can I see the window to Kel Olin's room?
Absolutely.
Is it open? Closed?
So these windows don't actually have any glass. This is not a nice enough inn for glass, right? It's just shutters, and the shutters are closed.
All right. I am going to super elven, boots of elven kind, stealthily make my way over to outside his room to listen.
All right, you sneak on over. Give me a stealth check at advantage because of your boots of elven kind. All right. You sneak up to the window. You can listen at it if you would like.
I absolutely want to. I can hear his thoughts.
Yeah. So you hear not quite a snoring, but a heavy breathing with a.
She wasn't freaking observant. I'll examine as best I can. Hopefully my eyes have had time to adjust. And I'm outside with hopefully some moonlight. Observe the latch on the shutters. I'm guessing if this place doesn't even have locks on the doors, that the latch is probably fairly lackluster.
Yeah, latch isn't great, but there is one. You saw it on these doors, on these windows when you were opening them before. There's it's just a little simple doodad. You could easily pick it with your knife. It wouldn't even be hard. It would just be like sliding a knife in and up. So
that's what
give me a lock picking check and don't screw it up.
All right. Where's my thieves' tools? Seriously? I mean, I don't know what you want to do with that. I'm guessing 11
a 10 is a pass, so 11 is a pass. Right. Skill checks are those sorts of things that ones don't necessarily mean failure on. There are some checks that you can't fail.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. It probably passed, but it was a 1.
Yeah, so I think you successfully do it, but maybe your heart's racing, you're a little bit nervous, and there's maybe a little bit too much noise go along with it. So I'm going to ask you to make me another stealth check to see if you... No, you're fine. Okay.
I got even quieter.
Yeah.
In my concern, I became quieter.
Yes.
So very slowly open one of the shutters and see what I can see inside.
You can look inside, and there's a dwarf on a bed. There's a bunch of plate mail stacked nearby. There is a warhammer clasped in the dwarf's hand that's like partially under the pillow, so he's sort of like sleeping on his arm with the pillow, but the hammer's still in his hand. And his armor and his pack is nearby. The armor is very carefully placed. And, yeah.
It's not like you can get into that quickly. The armor's not the concern. That frickin' hammer.
The frickin' hammer. Here you are. And here is...
Now, this room was ridiculously small.
It's quite
so where
small, yes.
is the bed? And the bed can't be where it's blocking the doorway?
Right, so the bed is like...
Is it like under this window? There's not really...
It's like right there. It's tucked into the corner.
Okay, and so just with bed etiquette would imply that the pillow would be in that corner and that basically I could reach in and there's the hammer and his arm holding it.
Yes, there's the hammer and his arm and the dwarf. The hammer is within reaching distance once those windows are open. They're unlatched and I assume open now. But he's holding it. You could probably rip it out of his hands, but it's definitely going to wake him up.
Oh, I've got better than that. This is going to be beautiful. Okay, I can't get it out of his hand without waking him up. So, with my rope, I make a loop. I lower it, put it around the head of his hammer. Carefully tighten it. Now I am going to lay the rope. So the rope now is tied to the end of his hammer, out the window. Is there something out here in the shed, like a door handle or something that I could tie the other end to?
Yeah.
All right. I tie this with really no slack going on.
So nice and as taut as you can get it without disturbing the hammer while you're doing this.
Yes.
So you tie the hammer.
Hold the handle all he wants, but the hammer is essentially unwieldable until he thinks to cut the rope. Which I'm guessing he's not sleeping with a dagger. Is there a dagger in the room?
Nope. Not that you can see, but it could be tucked under the armor, maybe in a bag.
Is there a bag?
He's got a small bag with him.
Okay. I'm assuming he's not sleeping with it. Could I lift that?
You'll have to climb into the room to get to it, but yes.
Oh, it's not like on something that I can reach from the window?
No. It's a far enough in that you're going to actually have to get into the room to get to the bag.
All right. Can I get into the room without stepping on him?
Yeah.
All right. I am going to do so.
You're in the room, moving very quietly. You've gone over to the bag.
Okay. I'm gonna just flat out put his bag in my backpack.
Put it in your backpack. Okay.
So I'm standing over here. I mean, there's really only like 2 combat squares in this room, I'm guessing, one of which is the bed, which would make his square basically difficult terrain, and half.
Yep. This is definitely, if you're both in this room, it's going to be a tight fight.
Yes, but I've got the advantage in that my square is not difficult terrain. I'm holding the door. He's in difficult terrain.
Okay.
So I can escape through the door if I need to. He can't. I'm assuming if he goes out the window, he's going to be giving me advantage as he tries that.
And now?
And now, I guess the only thing for it is to... Are there more blankets in this?
All the blankets seem to be piled up on him presently. There are no extra blankets lying around.
So basically he's kind of entangled.
That's a generous word for it, but yeah, he's got blankets on him.
All right. I am going to go for the assassinate with the rapier. Oh wait, let's see this. The rapier is Average damage 4.5. The dagger is 2.5 plus 1, 3.5.
Oh, you're going for average damage here?
Yes. You know what? I'm going to have the rapier in one hand, the magic dagger in the other.
Okay.
Now, does a bonus action use up your reaction?
No, it does not.
So I can make 2 attacks and still have my reaction on hand.
Yes, you can.
Right.
The extra attack will use your bonus action, and it will not give you your dex adjustment to the damage. So...
that's fine. I'm going to just need to pump out damage like crazy. Oh, holy shit. I just thought of something. So I get to assassinate on attacks made before his first initiative.
Yes.
Is the second attack with my offhand also an assassination?
Yes. However, you can only get your sneak attack damage once per round.
Oh, that's
once
true.
per turn. So you can only get your sneak attack damage on one of your attacks, but they will both be critical damage.
All right. So this is as good as I'm going to get against a 9th level fighter. I honestly don't know what the subclasses of fighter do. I've only really played a rogue in 5e. So maybe he's got all kinds of crazy shit that fighters can do that are pretty cool.
Well, it's time.
This is where we learn.
All right,
So,
Rob.
I'm going to go with the rapier stab. Let's see. That's the equipment list.
Load this map up for us to see a little bit easier on it.
22 with the rapier.
That will hit the unconscious dwarf.
All right. So what is the full-on damage of this here then?
The full-on damage with your rapier is 2d8 plus 4 plus 8d6.
2d8 plus 4 plus
8d6 because of the critical hit. That is a lot of damage. You plunge your rapier right through Olin's soft belly, hitting him for 50 damage right off the bat.
Following up with a dagger swipe with a magical dagger, which I don't think I've got the +1 on there, so whatever this roll is, it's a +1 to hit.
Sure.
I guess we didn't actually put the magic onto the dagger.
You
So
hit.
19.
Yes.
All right, so now what are you? So this is just
It
a
should
crit.
be 2d4 plus 1 for the magical bonus.
Does the magical bonus get doubled or no?
No.
All right.
Ooh. All right. You have dealt 57 damage to the 94 hit point dwarf. That puts him at 37. And believe it or not, he wakes up. With a roar, he goes for the warhammer, and we need to roll initiative.
Yes.
Is this the first initiative roll of the game, except for the
No, I rolled
farmer?
initiative against the cow and the farmer.
Right. But other than that, this might actually be the first initiative roll of the game. The dwarf goes to pull his hammer and attack you, but you get the drop on him again.
All right. 2 more attacks.
2 more attacks. You're gonna need advantage. Oh, actually, no, he still hasn't had a turn yet.
That's right.
You have
This is
advantage.
still
Yeah. All right, so you still have an advantage on your attack rolls. Go for it.
24 with the rapier.
Hit.
So this is again 2d8 plus 4 plus 8d6?
No, he is no longer surprised, so it is not a critical hit. It would just be your regular rapier damage plus 4d8.
I thought the assassination was you have advantage on it.
On attack
In addition,
rolls.
any hit you score against a creature that is... Okay, guess. Yeah, okay, there you go.
Yeah,
Right.
surprise is worn off.
So 2d8 plus 4.
No, just 1d8 plus 4 plus 4d6.
Isn't it a...
It's not a crit.
Oh, that's right.
Just a
Okay,
hit.
so just d8
Plus 4
Mhm.
plus how many d6?
4d6.
Okay, this isn't going to be as impressive.
But let's see what we do.
Oh my god. Oh, those rolls are so high.
And I still have a dagger attack.
Go for it.
And it's got a +1, so it's 10.
A 10 will hit. That's a rapier roll.
So I have
but-
advantage on him? I have advantage.
You do have
against any
advantage.
creature that hasn't, so I have
Yep.
the 20, actually. 21.
Go ahead and roll me d4 plus 5 damage. Oh my god, you might just outright kill him here. Don't roll a 1. He's got 7 hit points left.
D4 plus 5.
d4 plus 5. He'll live on a 1. Oh. Just barely. So the dwarf wakes up just in time for the second and round of attacks to run him through, and immediately slumps backwards in a bloody pool.
Did
in
he even
his-
get to make a sound?
I think his sound is.
I'll put my hand over his mouth once it's clear that he's done for.
All right.
Hell. Can I fit that plate mail in my backpack?
No, you cannot fit the plate mail in your backpack.
How does one transport?
Well, one
Freaking
doesn't. At this point, it'd be like transporting the Mona Lisa, right? This is one of the only suits of mithril plate mail in existence.
Actually, the Mona Lisa is pretty easy to transport. It's a lot smaller than people think.
Yes, but it would be difficult to do anything with, right? Like, what would you do with this plate mail? It's going to be instantly recognizable.
Melt it down.
By who? Anywhere you take this plate mail to have anything done with it would draw a lot of surprise.
What blacksmith would melt down this much mithril for 50% of it?
Well, either way, you probably can't carry
I'm
the plate
taking
mail.
his goddamn prize.
You're going to try and pack up his plate mail in the middle of the night and take it with you?
I want to fucking pack him up.
Him?
I'm thinking I don't want his body to ever be found, so people will wonder what the fuck happened to him. They'll just
Well,
have a bloody bed, and that's freaking it.
the plate mail is surprisingly light. I mean, it is made of mithril. It only weighs 18 pounds, but it is bulky. You know, it's quite.
Can I get
it's
him
dwarf
the plate mail,
sized.
etc., out the window?
Given sufficient time, but I'm going to ask you to make me a couple of stealth checks on that one without
right.
your advantage, because your boots aren't playing a factor in the moving of people and bodies.
Okay, what if since the door wasn't locked, is the outside? I'll check if the outside door is locked.
The door from the common room to the outside?
Yes.
Nope. Everyone needs to be able to use the bathroom at night, so it is unlocked.
So could I just grab the body and carry him out without it being as noisy?
What is your strength score? Not very high, is it? Oh, it's 11. So you can carry 110 pounds. Actually, you can carry 165 pounds total. Max carrying. The dwarf... How much does a dwarf weigh? Does a dwarf weigh more than you can carry? You might have to drag him.
Well, what if I like put his arms around my shoulders and carry him that way, sort of on my back? His
Yeah.
feet aren't going to be dragging on the ground.
Sure, he weighs 150 pounds. So you're at 165 pounds of weight. So he's right in that, like, super heavily encumbered. Plus, you've got your other gear on and your clothes. That'll definitely over encumber you. So you'd have to,
right
like,
now, you
have to strip off pretty much everything.
Well, I mean, I'll just go slowly.
All right.
And I'm assuming that's what this isn't a video game where I go from 300 pounds, I can run at a sprint. 301 pounds, you can't move.
Right. So you can slowly begin to drag the dwarf out of the building.
I don't want to drag him. That's going to be noisy. I want to carry him.
All right.
Still using my elven boots because those are all about quiet footsteps. And I want to get him first order business is to get him and then his gear, say 50 yards from the inn.
All right. Give me that stealth check. I guess you have advantage since you're carrying him, but it's going to be slow going.
Well, I mean, once I'm out of the inn, not going to be such an issue.
Yeah. All right. You haul the body out of the inn, and
all right, I'm going to come back and get the his gear, including untying the rope and the hammer, all that good stuff. And just for maximum what the hell happened effect, I'm also going to get the body of the messenger.
Messenger.
This is going to be... There are going to be, reality TV documentaries about the unsolved mystery of this whole thing.
There's definitely going to be something like that.
This will be as mysterious as whether dragons exist. Maybe even
that
more
is
so.
Not a mystery. That is a well-documented fact. They do exist.
I heard it's not just here. That story about whether dragons exist was also popping up in Desu.
Desu's not a real place, Rob. This has never happened.
People call it Berkshire. But that rumor, and that's way far away. So apparently this rumor's really got legs.
Well, I mean, only shaved Yetis would believe something like that. And who can trust a shaved Yeti? But we're distracting ourselves. You haul the dwarf away. You haul his plate mail away. You haul the farmer/messenger away. And where do you take these people?
All right, so once I get them 50 yards away, the idea with 50 yards is that's the point at which I'm guessing no one in the inn is going to hear, and it's much easier. I'm going to try to get the lay of the land here. I want to see where I could move, where I could travel, that I can't easily be tracked. Stony ground or grass or things where they're not going to be able to tell where I went. I don't want people finding where I bury him. Crap.
Right. You can do so.
All right. So I get this some distance off away. I want to bury him.
Okay.
And the messenger body. I'll take the tabard. Maybe it can be... Given that the peasant was already wounded, I mean, I don't know, it might be somewhat blood-soaked. Is the tabard salvageable?
Well, fine, salvageable. I mean, it's blood-soaked, and it's got arrow wounds and damage in it. Someone was beaten to death in it. It's a bloody tabard.
All right. It'll need to be burned later. We don't want the body to be found with the tabard on. Just to make things more mysterious.
So you hide the bodies?
So I bury the bodies, very carefully cover up the spot, so that people don't see a big vicious looking pile of dirt, pine needles and leaves or whatever the hell on it. Means I've just got the hammer and the
Plate mail?
plate mail. I'm looking for some sort of significant landmark that I can remember.
Yeah, you can find a collection of rocks that's memorable or something.
All right, and I'm gonna find a good, not easily noticed sort of burial spot for the hammer and the armor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll bury those. I'll take a look in Sir Olin's backpack now.
Mm-hmm.
But I do, on all these trips back and forth to get things out of the inn, I close Sir Olin's window. I put the latch back into place.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make everything really freaking mysterious. You know what?
Huh.
I'm just, as long as we're gonna freak out later real mystery documentarians.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to this must be plenty of blood on this bed. Dip my finger in the blood, and on the wall I'll write, "She knows."
All right, you write with the blood on the wall, "She knows."
And they can do whatever the fuck they want. They're trying to figure out what that means. Because I sure as hell don't know.
And what do you do? Are you gonna stay? Are you gonna spend the night at
Sophie,
the inn?
but on the trip back, I make sure I get Sophie. None of this, you forgot your cat.
Yeah. All right, you grab the cat off the roof. She was asleep the whole time.
Okay. And what's in his pack?
The dwarf's pack? Just
Yes.
like a little bit of traveling food. And that's it.
All right. So no documents, no coin, no anything?
He's got a small coin purse with him as well, but no documents. No papers.
Okay. Internet connection is unstable. Okay, you were going really slow there for a minute. Or maybe I was.
Well,
or maybe FaceTime. All right.
FaceTime is always slowing down.
Seems to be doing better.
So you've hidden the bodies. You've taken the plate. You've put a fake message on the walls. The question is, are you spending the rest of the night here in the inn, or are you two disappearing tonight?
No, that would be really freaking ridiculous. And well, if flee in the morning is my scared traveler self. You know what? That's just what I'm gonna do. I'll go back to the inn. I mean, there's no reason to think anyone else is gonna be there for me. And I'll get up early. And
I don't think you're gonna be able to sleep tonight.
The Andersons. Can I just? Yeah, I'm just gonna take time until it's dawn, and I'm sure the Andersons get up to take care of everything, and I just go, This is just too upsetting. Can I just get some bread and cheese for the road?
Excuse me? Upsetting? Oh, yes, of course. Right.
Sleeping next to the body.
Of course. Sure. And they will quickly pack you some bread and cheese and say, don't worry about the cost. We'll just hurry on. Go.
All right. Thank you for everything.
Sure.
I realize it wasn't your fault.
Just please hurry on.
All right. And I hurry on, and yes, it's time to start heading to Hightower, and I'm sure with all the servants and other parties, the word is going to get there, but it would have been kind of funny if I got to Hightower before word of Frederick's death.
All right, and you make your way towards your next victim, your next target.
With a song in my heart, because I didn't have to burn down the inn with the Andersons in it.
Oh, that's very nice. All right, so that's where we're going to end for today. When we come back next time, we will be doing the High Castle mission, the assassination of Lord Drooper himself.
You know what this means, Neil? I guess you didn't win D&D.
I won for a good hour. You know,
you did win for an hour. It was
beautiful.
I wasn't sure what to do.
You guys may not. Those of you that don't see the other work that Rob and I do together, the other campaigns we run, he's always got some wild, harebrained, nefarious plan. And being able to run him in circles for an hour is one of my greatest feats as a DM.
I gotta say, even with the planning, even as successful as it was, this one didn't net me an underground male strip club or or giant spiders to fund my silk making.
Your giant spider silk empire, right?
Or no gold casino.
No casinos.
Normally, that's what I walk away from these adventures with.
Yes. And it takes a while to get rid of them.
It's just defeating my greatest enemy.
Yeah, that 50 damage on that crit was pretty insane. Those D6s all rolled really, really well.
Yeah, that was freaking amazing.
These are some really good rolls. Even the next one, the 46 and the attacks are all above average, well above average.
And I'll
they're amazing.
And I will toss all the remaining coppers into Olin's grave along with him. Everything from here on out is a freebie.
Well, for the record, Olin had quite a bit of attacks. 2 attacks per round with an action surge, so he could take another 2 attacks, all at +7 to hit. D10 plus 3 for damage, another 2d6 on crits from the magic of his warhammer, plus a bunch of other wonderful things. I don't know if you would have survived a single round against him.
Even a single round?
I don't know. He could have gotten 4 attacks on you, plus his second wind, and he crits on 19s and 20s, and it would have been tough. It would have been really tough. Well,
evasion would have cut his attacks, his damage in half. That's why I was asking about the reaction.
Well.
And I had the door because I wanted to be prepared to bolt out the goddamn door.
Yeah.
On a second round, I could have used my cunning action to dash.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you that a dashing rogue can leave a dwarf in the dust like you could not believe.
That's true. But had he made 4 attacks, 2, 3, 4, 3 hits, each at D10 plus 3 and
with
some other
what?
stuff.
Hands?
I mean,
his hammer was tied down.
That's true. I was wondering if you were going to use your removable rod and just like leave it on his chest so he couldn't sit up in his bed.
Oh, that would have been.
Because you could just immovable rod against someone's neck and then they're stuck in the bed. Or over the hammer.
I feel stupid that I didn't think of that now. I guess I don't think of the immovable rod as much, although I did think of it for tripping horses.
Yeah. Well, you were going into perhaps your last mission with an invisibility potion, an immovable rod, a +1 dagger, gloves of swimming and climbing, boots of elven kind. You are level 7. I'll update your stats and everything. And that is it for today's assassin.
And what is my new hammer? Not that I'm going to use it because I'm not proficient in it too.
Vicious hammer. On critical hits, it deals extra damage. It gets an extra 2d6 damage.
Oh my god! In the hands of an assassin.
In the hands of an assassin. Yeah.
If it had been a sword, damn it.
another time. I think that's going to do us for today.
Mm-hmm. I had a lot of fun taking out my arch enemy.
Wonderful. We are not back next week. We are gone next week, but we should be back the week after that. That'll be the 5th of September with another episode of Assassin. Any final words before we sign out today, Rob?
No, I certainly had fun. I hope all the viewers had some fun here with the crazy assassination shenanigans there at the end.
Mm-hmm. It was good.
I'm not going to count on that to happen again.
Yeah, and this time only one innocent person was killed and one innocent cow.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye, everybody.
That cow was not innocent. We both know it, Neil. That cow is connected.
Well, all the cows are connected. They're all part of the dog fia, you know. They're all the real overseers of the dog fia. That's why they call it the dog fia. It's that everyone's looking at the dogs when really it's run by cows. That's how
the
they
cows
get
are just in the meth part of the whole dog fia's operations.
All right, everybody. Goodbye. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Take care.